It's time, your time, our time, everyone's time. Thank you for giving us your ears as we jump into Three Guys Before the Game, episode number 661. It's West Virginia against the Utah Utes Saturday afternoon, and this is, appropriately enough, our preview of the Utah game. The gentleman on the far side, if you're watching, is Hoppy. He'll have obvious observations. The gentleman in the middle, he's been on a 2-day bender, and I don't mean that from any alcohol. I'm just saying he hasn't slept in 2 days, trying to mash the numbers together for Spreads on Stats and trying to figure out a way what needs to happen for West Virginia to get a W. All of that plus Textual Healing and Hoppy is a nightclub goer. We'll tell you that story and more. Stunning announcement. Three Guys Before the Game, brought to us by GoMart. If you haven't yet, download their app. It's the GoMart. Really, it's the GoMart Road to Savings for you. Download the app immediately. Begin saving on food and fuel. Go for good times. Go for GoMart. By Lou Wendell Marine Sales in St. Albans. They're an award-winning marine sales and services company that's been doing business for 40 years and happen to be, just by process of elimination of the others that they've left in their wake, the number one pontoon boat dealer in the state of West Virginia.
I just caught that.
Avalon. Wake. They left him in their wake. Thank you. Three Guys brought to us by Tudor's Biscuit World. In case you ever need to transport loads of biscuits, you could load a pontoon and go from one side of the Kanawha River, one side of the Mon River, back and forth. Tudor's Biscuit World. Start your day the homemade way. By Comax Business Systems, keeping West Virginia's business data safe, secure, and efficient for 25 years. By Jan Dills, Attorneys at Law. You said it before I said it. You know it. They won't take no for an answer. And by Conley CPA Group, providing value beyond numbers. All right, so let's jump in. Season's moving very, very quickly. We'll play our final game for the month of September on Saturday afternoon. 3:30 is the kickoff. It is a bunch of stuff going on. We've got the Hall of Fame induction ceremony. We've got the throwback uniforms. And while we look back with the throwbacks, we have history being made. It's the first ever West Virginia-Utah game in Morgantown, just the third ever between the two schools, and just for the first time ever being played in one of the school's cities. The previous two were both bowl games. One historic, Atlantic City, New Jersey, 1964, first ever major bowl game played indoors.
That was, the weird one inside the convention center.
That is correct. They brought in natural grass because they didn't even have artificial turf back then. Brought in natural grass, pushed it into the convention center. It was the Liberty Bowl played in Atlantic City, New Jersey.
Wasn't it the end zone too short or something? Wasn't there something weird?
Well, it certainly was, because West Virginia got absolutely boat raced. If we had a longer end zone, probably win the game.
I think that was the problem.
Yeah, that was it. And then in one of the most heinous bowl games I've ever attended was the Heart of Texas Bowl. Heart of Dallas,
I think.
Dallas. Same state.
It didn't go well, whatever they named.
Cotton Bowl was the site. It was just terrible. It was misty, cold, rainy, crappy, day after Christmas, and I've been to spring practices that had more people. Just terrible.
And the weather was probably the best part of that day.
They threw us around like we stole something. Go back one day and pull the stats on that.
Nah, don't.
Do you know who led West Virginia in pass attempts?
Hard to say.
Who? Was it not the starting quarterback?
I'm still trying to figure out who the starting quarterback was.
Well, it did not go well.
Javon Durant.
Really?
They threw multiple wide receiver passes?
9?
No.
No, that's not right. That can't be right.
Okay.
No.
Okay, so, really? What'd you say?
Well, it might say that. That can't be right.
I looked at it this week because I thought that Chris Chugunov had started. Well, yeah.
He did.
They don't have him as any pass attempts.
Well, that's not right either. I mean.
Now you're questioning WVU stats?
On that one I am. I mean, we watched the game with Chuggin. Although he got a lot of pressure. Maybe he didn't get a pass off.
Just forget that game.
Anyway, my point was,
I don't even remember that. I have no recollection of that game.
And I try to repress it as often as possible myself.
Just forget about it.
It was terrible. Anyway, point is, this is the first time we're playing on a campus. It'll be in Morgantown.
Now I got to look that up.
Let me do it. My computer's not
I know.
loading.
Neither one of you do it. We got a game coming up. Neither one of you do it. It does not matter.
All right.
It was an awful experience. It was an awful game. The weather was terrible. West Virginia played terribly. We don't need to talk about it. Move on.
That was the game in which West Virginia's I'll never forget this. This was like a cartoon. West Virginia's starting left side tackle got pushed up by a defensive end from Utah, and while he had him, he threw him backward and knocked down West Virginia's quarterback.
I think I do remember that.
Like a cartoon.
All right, move on.
All right, moving on to further action, as the great Lindsey Nelson used to say. Moving on to further
action.
On?
Are we recording?
Not yet.
What
We're going to start here in a second. All right, Hoppy, what's your obvious observations?
Obvious observations are this. Each team smarting after disappointing performances. West Virginia, we have documented. Brad will get into Utah's situation, but they did not play well against Texas Tech. Now, opponent adjusted. Texas Tech is pretty good. But the offense, Brad, for Utah in a game, not effective. I know you'll get into their quarterback situation, whether he's hurt or not. But 4 turnovers in that game by Utah. 4 turnovers. A turnover on downs. A touchdown called back. And what Kyle Whittingham said after the game was he was really disappointed in the fact that that up front they got beat, which we do not expect from a Utah team. So you got a smarting Utah team and a desperate West Virginia team. So we'll go over the situation with West Virginia. All these injuries are starting to pile up. This Nico Markiel situation, which you'll talk about more. Looks like Jalen Henderson's going to get the start. Now, Henderson's got these running skills, but you'd figure if he were the better quarterback, he would have been starting. But maybe, I guess if you want to have a hope, maybe it's a Pat White situation where the new guy comes in several games in and gives him a little lift. Nico questionable. That means he's 50-50. Bowers, Livingston doubtful, so they're probably out. Brad, you always say you're allowed to get better, and that's true. That's a truism. The other truism is you are what you are. I mean, you're a third of the way through the season. A third of the way through the season, and You this is probably who you are unless Henderson can make a significant difference. So I would just say that this now officially has to be year 0. I mean, you got 81 new guys, you got all these injuries, new coaching staff. Just make this year 0 and be realistic without being fatalistic or overly optimistic. Just be realistic. Try to enjoy the experience, even though that may be harder for folks who are paying a lot for tickets or making the investment to go to games, and if they don't see the result on the field. But you got going forward, you're just going to have to be realistic about your chances here because, frankly, starting Saturday, they aren't very good.
Thank you, Hoppy.
You're welcome.
Those were even a little bit beyond obvious, but that was very well done on your part. Meanwhile, I have a massive correction to make.
What?
WVU stats normally is flawless.
Oh,
they are.
Here we go.
They are. Hell, situation.
I'm not disputing the stats. I'm disputing you going on and on and on there. Go ahead.
Well,
correct the error.
I went back and I went to the ESPN box score of the game. And I have been successful in repressing my memory from the game. Chugginoff threw it 28 times.
Thank you.
Only completed 9. 9 of 28. So in the WVU stats thing, they got the wrong player.
Is he going to apologize after he jumped down our throat?
Listen, you guys, Hoppy, I hope you'll find it in your heart to forgive me.
I do forgive
for coming across and reporting something that was on another site. I found the other site. He was 9 of 28 for 129 with a touchdown and 2 picks.
You are forgiven.
What about you, Brad?
No.
How the hell with you?
No. You didn't apologize to me. You run your mouth all the time at me. Make me apologize on this show. You never do it. You were
Who's going with year 0?
Horribly wrong on that.
Who's with me on year 0?
Well, I don't know why you're just coming to that conclusion. Hasn't it always been that way?
Yeah.
With 80 players?
Yeah, it should have been year 0 to begin with.
Yeah.
Didn't run the ball well that day. 21 carries for 29 yards. 21 carries for 29 yards. Anyway, I'm done.
Well, you guys are barrels of fun. Both of you.
Well, take issue then with my obvious observations.
Injuries are a big thing now, obviously, and we'll get into some of those specifically, but those are starting to mount, especially at the running back position. We'll get into that here in just a minute. What's Ty Edwards' availability for this week?
Questionable.
Because that makes a massive difference. If Edwards plays, that changes you a little bit there, right? We saw that in the Pitt game. It also, listen, you're at home, guys. I mean, West Virginia is a decided underdog for a reason in this game, but you're also coming back home. So this isn't one of those games you necessarily line up and say, oh, you got no chance here. Line up and go swing. They've got a long road trip. They came in early, so the travel for them is something that's already on their mind. Mike Gundy did this a few years ago. He thought they were coming to Siberia, got in here like on Tuesday or something.
What are they doing with this
I don't understand
2-day?
that.
What in the hell are you doing?
I mean,
It's less than 3 hours to fly here.
It's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, they just played a game at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Are you serious, man? It's like less than 3 hours.
See, that's one of those things, Hop, as I look back at that Texas Tech game, and I watched every play of that game, and credit to Texas Tech because what Whittingham said afterwards, I think you could see that front seven in particular at Texas Tech dominated that offensive line, which Whittingham has called the best he's ever had. Yeah. It's got 2 tackles that are projected as first-round picks, one of them potentially in the top 15, and Texas Tech won that battle up front. But you talk about a disadvantaged home game for a team in a massive spot, having to kick that thing off at 10 a.m. locally. That's the rare road trip for Texas Tech that body clock worked in your favor. You don't usually say that going east to west or vice versa, but I thought it did. So what kind of Utah mentality do you get coming in here? Is this a team that now bulks up and says, all right, that's enough of that. We're going to run the football right at you here?
I'd say 95% chance that's it.
That's usually what good teams do.
They've been berated all week about how bad they played. They're going to come in here, and they are going to be like bulls, that out of their nose. Like, yeah, that's what it's going to be.
So we'll see, though. I mean, it's a long trip. Weird things can happen, and you're back at home. So if you're West Virginia, you're playing with house money, Hop. You go out, nobody has any expectations for you. You're banged up all over the offense in every key position, so you go take your swings. We'll talk about the quarterback position in particular, see what Jalen Henderson has, but he's not the only guy you're going to see. Right. Maybe somebody else wants to step up in this game and show you some things that you haven't seen yet.
Yeah, you don't know how the fatigue will impact coming over as far as they had to travel. I mean, you're in the air, that other plane comes up on side of you, refuels you while you're in the air, just so you can make it, here. So you don't know how that's going to impact them as well.
So you're at home, big crowd, beautiful uniforms coming out. I'm excited to see the uniforms. You can tell I've got the throwback logo on myself.
Where'd you get that, by the way?
Well, of course, where I got it, Daniels. Fine Looking Phil
has
full allotment of shirts, multiple styles of these polo shirts, quarter zips. He's got a loaded house over there with the throwback gear.
Brad, let me put
awesome.
it.
So that constitutes he's got a whole throwback department now.
Yeah, basically has a whole. There's certainly a wall.
You got a throwback wall.
There's certainly a wall. I'm comfortable in saying that. But Brad, you better get over there because it's going fast.
Brad, point well taken. There's a 60% chance of rain on Saturday, and today it's miserable. It's rainy and it's chilly. If the weather is poor,
chilly. What are you talking about? It's chilly.
It's
68 degrees outside.
If the weather is poor, it will hurt the crowd. And if you don't do, as we know, if you don't do something early, people will flee.
Yeah, they might. It also might not rain, and it might be a close game, and they might not do anything early, and you might have a couple plays, and the crowd might be really loud.
You might.
Is the other side of that.
I understand.
Now, you might get beat by 28, but you might not, Kirchhoff.
I understand. I am not disagreeing with you. I am just pointing out what I think are the obvious observations. I may be proven wrong, and I hope I am. But I think that the boxes check for the obvious observations here. You've got to, like we've said before, you would have to do some things you did not do in 2 of the games with the injuries.
You're right. And the one game where you did it was in this situation, right? You got a good team in Pitt at home in your ballpark. You probably shouldn't have been in that game. You probably shouldn't have had the ability against that Pitt defense to make the comeback that you did and have the offensive success you did. So if you're looking for hope, you're correct. I mean, you're a 2-touchdown underdog at home. I'll get into how historic that number is. So there's no question that's the 30,000-foot level. It's easy, which you're doing, I know, on the obvious observations. I think the other side of it, you play the game. Go see what happens.
Sure.
See what happens here.
100%.
See if you got some guys. I think you're starting to look on the offensive side. You also need to find some guys that are going to be around. This cannot be a total 80-person rebuild next year for Rich Rod and this crew. They've got to find some guys that are able to come back and make some plays moving forward. Who are those guys going to be? Are you going to see some new offensive linemen mixed in? Those 2 Chemo and Crawford don't appear on the latest injury report, so that would indicate that they're going to go. So maybe you won't have the backups in at that position. But quarterback, you're certainly going to see more run from guys. Running back, if there's no Edwards or if Edwards is limited, you're going to have to see some other guys.
No Bowers.
No Bowers, probably. And what did Rich Rod say he wanted? The first thing he wanted to do when he got here was culture, right? And what is Rich's culture? Hard edge, play through the whistle, 4-quarter, the whole thing. So what do you get? Do you get that 80 new guys? Was that culture established, and will you see it? Will you see it over the course of this season if things don't go well?
At this point, I think that's the only thing that you have absolute control over, right? That's the one thing that he can control.
Yes.
If he doesn't see it, then he can pull, plug, and replace. Now, there are going to be certain limitations on this team, obviously, from an athleticism and from a physicality standpoint, that their highest level of efficiency may not be where you need to be in the Big 12 Conference. That eventually will get fixed. But to your point, the one thing he can control and they can control is the ferocity, the physicality that they play with.
Yeah, and if a guy, look, if you're getting beat and the guy you think is the better guy isn't performing, what the heck?
Yeah. And
play another guy who wants to be there and will be there next year.
And as this thing continues to go the way that it is right now, I think he will ramp up that part of it. Like, then I think he'll become absolutely obsessed with, if you're not giving it to me all, then I think that will be the extra point that because that's the one thing he can still hang on.
And so that was a message this week, right? He didn't feel that was there against Kansas on the road, so that's why you've got to feel better about coming home, that at least you get that part of it. And listen, this total's down. This is the lowest total West Virginia's had to this point. So the odds makers aren't thinking that Utah's going to put up a lot of points either. It's down to 47.5. So that denotes a potentially low-scoring game, which, again, with West Virginia's offense, you'd be crazy to think otherwise at this point until proven differently. But if West Virginia's defense can hang around enough and not be worn out by the end, that's why it's incumbent upon this offense to do enough that the defense gets to rest a little bit. Guys, I went back. This isn't our number.
Is this spreads on stats now?
No, it's not. But you know what's interesting? That Kansas game, watching that again, I don't know that I ever had the feel that West Virginia was going to win that game. And I know the score ended up where it did, but there were some wild stats. If you go back and look at that defensive performance within that game, it really wasn't nearly as bad as that game indicated.
4 explosives.
But here's what's more to that point. West Virginia had 3 explosives in a game when it felt like it didn't do anything offensively. They just happened to score 3 touchdowns on that.
Correct.
Plus add in a kick return. So it's one of those, the defense, you might have walked out of there thinking, oh no, the defense isn't what you thought it was, but it played pretty well in that. Can the defense keep you in it enough to make them uncomfortable in the fourth? That's obviously what you're looking for at home.
Hoppy mentioned rain. Let's talk about liquid right now. Comax Business System is asking you to take care of your employees and your customers. It's always a good thing. Comax Business Systems now offering upgraded, updated, absolutely bona fide superstar, 5-star, all-American water machines for your office, business, or heck, even for your home. Awesome filtered water, hot or cold. Their new I-12 water cooler, sleek design meets cutting-edge technology. Kind of just the way that Hoppy dresses. Sleek design with cutting-edge technology. Contact Comax to learn more about their water systems. You can visit them at comaxwv.com. 3 Guys also brought to us by Jan Dills, attorneys at law. Watching West Virginians have success is a lot of fun. They've recently been honored for their work. They do business in all 50 states. They've got clients in all 50 states, started right here in Parkersburg, West Virginia, and they specialize in veterans benefits and Social Security claims. I think that's the first time I ever got Social Security claims out. Those S's, that can be you know this, Hop. You've been in the business a long time. Social Security claims. So if you or someone that you do know has an issue with military benefits or Social Security claims, they're the ones to get a hold of immediately before you begin the process. Why? Because 88% of the initial applications get denied. You need someone that does it in a everyday basis, and that's Jan Dills. Doesn't cost you a single penny unless they get money for you. Visit Jan Dills, attorneys at law. They won't take no for an answer. All right, Mr. New Shirt Boy, you ready?
Let's go.
How's the camera doing with your new shirt? Like, it's pretty good because sometimes all those
it's not pixelated or anything.
That's pretty good. Oh, yeah. Well, I tell you what, it's because we got them real good cameras, Hoppy.
I do like this logo.
I do too.
I'm a big fan.
Yeah,
I
I do too.
think it's going to look sweet on those gold helmets.
I just think that light blue is kind of weird, though. But
Star City blue.
I heard that.
Yeah.
Why Star City? Because the
Star City
bridge
Bridge.
used to
Star City
look
Bridge?
like that.
Star City Bridge.
That's industrial. That's industrial blue then. But whatever. That's fine. I like them too.
I don't know why you got to. Why is he attacking everything today? He didn't come in a pleasant mood.
Not
He
in a
did
good
not.
mood.
He was out too late at the club.
Yeah, we'll get
That's
into
what
that. We'll show you what happens when Hoppy goes out late nighting it. Spreads on Stats is brought to us by the Conley CPA Group. They provide value beyond numbers. They're a full-service public accounting firm and do so much more. Full-service consultation as well. They've been in business for 40 years. It's a local firm with experienced local professionals. The thing we like about them, and we do use them, is that they will assist us in stuff that goes so far beyond just accounting and taxes. It's like, hey, what's the best way to do this? Hey, what's the best way to do that? Hey, Hoppy's got a shell company over on this island in Tobago. No, I'm just teasing about the last part. But anyway, they're great folks. If you need help in that world, visit Conley CPA Group. So did you have an epiphany at all when you put all the numbers together on the analytics side?
Oh, I don't know that you have an epiphany in a game like this, but I think you do look at some numbers here, then you can jump out and find a couple ways. If West Virginia is going to be in this game and have a chance to win it, I think there's some things that pop up that they need to do.
Go.
You ready?
Go.
So we started with, and I think you have to start this with, Utah's offense and that offensive line. What is that going to look like? What's their ability to line up and run it on you? You're getting the number 10 national offensive success rate team. So number 10 in offensive success rate nationally against West Virginia's defense that's number 11 in opponent offensive success. So you've got good on good right here. You get the number 2 rush offense success rate in the country in Utah going against West Virginia's defense in that same category that's 19th. You're getting the number 39 pass offense success rate team going against West Virginia's defense that's number 20 in that category.
Stop there. That's a hell of a number, dude. Considering where they were a year ago.
Right.
You're at 20 right now.
Right.
No one's really singing that song.
That's against
and I get
pass.
That.
Against rush, you're 19, and overall, you're 11th. You're a top 11 defense against opponent success rate right now, playing against two pretty good teams in Pitt and Kansas, and Ohio U not bad. So
that's kind of
schedule strength-wise, you have a more difficult schedule than what Utah's faced so far.
That's kind of getting, that storyline's kind of getting lost.
It is getting lost because the offense has had so many struggles and injuries. That's what I'm saying. In a game that's predicted to be low scoring with a Utah quarterback that's dinged and you don't know how much, that's your formula. At home, long travel trip, turnover-prone Utah from last week. Does that travel? Do you get some turnovers? The hard part of this is I think we're going to find Texas Tech's defenses for real. That's the challenge. So if you're just trying to do it off a one-game sample, and that's the only game Utah's played that's mattered, and they really struggled offensively. Well, was that more Texas Tech related? Can West Virginia duplicate that? You're not dealing with West Virginia's defense from last year. You're dealing with one that has been pretty good, even though you got blown out against Kansas. I'll mention some of those numbers. It wasn't nearly as bad as the score indicated.
Can I throw something out there?
Sure.
My recon, I've got people, right? I got people. They say Devin Dampier, their quarterback's ankle, much better this week than it was last week.
Yeah,
so anyone thinking like he's going to come in here dragging his leg, that's not going to be the case.
Yeah, because they definitely do not minimize injuries at Utah. Certainly they went through all last year with Cam Rising, said he was going to play every week, and he never played. So they never minimize it. So I'm sure the people that gave that to you are 100% straight up. Don't know who it was.
Custodian.
Nobody in college football minimizes the injury situation, especially to starting quarterbacks.
That's a very solid point on your part.
There was a dust up this week following a game that Utah perhaps omitted certain key injury information last week.
Now you're right. Dampier not on the injury report this week. That's the report coming out of Utah. He's fine. Okay.
Well, no, last week.
You'll see, but that's a critical component of this, especially running the football. He's a huge part of this. Stop me if you've heard this before. He's another mobile quarterback that can take off and run. 22% of his carries so far have been scrambles, 8 yards per attempt. Here, if you want to niche this down on the field to watch this, it's a couple things. 50% of Dampier's rushing yards are around the two ends. Makes sense. That's where your pros are. And if you're scrambling, you're more liable to take off around the outsides, right? 52% of this team's rush yards are around the two ends. So they've liked to go outside. 55% of Utah's rushing first downs have come around the ends. Again, running to where your strengths are. Can West Virginia shut down both areas of the run game? Can you hold the line inside, which Texas Tech did extremely well? They held Utah to just 3.3 yards per carry. That was part of the success. They didn't feel Utah could beat them through the air and deep downfield, and they just pushed everybody up in there and condensed that field and handled that running game. And I'll get to a number I'll do it right now. 38% of Utah's rush yards came around the ends against Texas Tech. So they closed off that avenue as well, held the trenches in the middle, and won the outside battle. They held Dampier to just 1.8 yards per carry. He only had 4 quarterback scrambles and 6 called runs. Some of that was probably due to that ankle that is now healed completely. He's 100% this week, so that won't be a factor, Hoppy. But last week it was a factor in this particular game.
You're hearing that too?
That's the narrative that's coming out of the camp that he's, and he very well may be. I'm not saying that he's not. I'm just saying you got to test that and see, because if he's 100% healthy and you let him outside, you got big problems there, right? He's going to take advantage of that. So I recognize that this West Virginia defense has faced a pretty good offense in Pitt, a really good offense, I thought, in Kansas. This is a little different. They're going to do some motion and some shifting, but not like Kansas. They're going to line up behind that line, and I think we agree what you said. I agree with what you said earlier. They're going to say, oh, is that right? We didn't run it last week. We're going to run it. We're going to line up and run the football right at you. Can West Virginia match that challenge? Here's one of the other stats coming out of that Kansas game. I referenced the defensive numbers for West Virginia were a little bit better than they looked on the field. You held Kansas to a negative offensive EPA for the game, expected points added, just kind of overall how effective is each play at getting you closer to scoring points. Negative offensive EPA for that Kansas team. So that's rare. 41 points.
That speaks to the big plays.
And they were held to a negative EPA and the kick return that wasn't factored into the offensive EPA.
Yep.
All right, so what can you do with the pressure in this game? Can you get after Dampier when he passes? If you can shut down the run and force him to throw, can you get by those tackles, first of all? Is Jamori Robinson, who got in 26 snaps last week, is he ready to go?
He hit the over, didn't he?
Yeah, way over. Yeah, way over. Can he go this week and be a factor in the pass rush game around the tackles? And if not, can you get push up the middle from your interior defensive linemen, which have been playing pretty well also? So that's something. If you allow Dampier to sit back there and throw, then that's going to be a problem, obviously. Keep an eye on third down, and we'll talk about this going both ways, Utah's offense and West Virginia's offense. But here from a Utah perspective, part of why they've been so good, they're number 2 nationally in average third down distance. They're averaging just 4.5 yards per third down. Well, that's pretty good, Hop. If you're third and medium, short medium, then you're probably going to have some success. They're getting a West Virginia defense that's 25th nationally in opponent average third down distance. West Virginia's keeping opponents to 8.1 yards per third down. Which of those comes to fruition? You hold them in third and long and make Dampier have to go back and throw with those receivers and your D-backs up on them. Okay, now you might be able to force a turnover or two. I think that's a critical part of that. Part of why they're, and this goes with the stat, 3rd and 4.5 per third down means you've had success on first and second down. So while third down in itself is going to be important to watch, that gets you off the field, watch that first down. Can you get a stop on first down and now put them behind the sticks? That's something to watch.
You know, we already have a Mountaineer with an interception against Dampier before the game even starts.
Excuse me?
Chase Wilson got one against him when he was at Colley State. Yeah.
Let's talk about West Virginia's offense for a second. Who's going to make plays? Hoppy, don't we say that all the time?
Yes.
Who's your guys? Who are going to make plays? The quarterback position is the one that you're going to watch here. A number that surprised me a little bit, especially given how much Rich talked about multiple quarterbacks this year, and we've seen them, right? How many have we seen? 5? Four. The over 3.5 hit early on that.
It did.
But Nico, if you take out garbage time, Nico's taken 86% of the snaps for this team. He's taken like 76% of them in just overall. So you're going to get some new guys this week, and they're going to have to make plays, whether that's Henderson, whether that's Fox, whether that's Wilkins. Someone's going to have to make some plays. Who does that?
Got to come from that. It's got to come from that spot.
Who has Henderson will start, right?
Correct.
Who will end up, guys, with more carries at the end of the day? Henderson or the running back who has the most carries? Who will have the most carries?
That's a great question.
The running back who has the most carries or Henderson?
I'll answer that without giving you an answer. I will say that I hope It's the quarterback.
Because he can make plays?
Because if the quarterback is successfully running and continues to get his number called, that means that he's doing really well.
Mm-hmm.
If he gets stonewalled, then it'll be a limited number of quarterback carries.
Henderson leads the team in EPA per rush right now, which makes some sense, right? A lot of that came against Kansas. You saw him have some success there. How about at the receiver position? Because chances are good you're going to have to throw it, guys. You're going to have to loosen up this defense somehow. Utah probably knows you want to run it. Hop, do you think they know that?
I think
are they aware?
Probably are aware.
So you're going to have to throw it. How about Rodney Gallagher? Third on the team now with 10 catches, third with 14 targets, and third in receiving yards. Here's what's interesting. He's the only West Virginia receiver that has more than 3 catches this season and has a positive EPA per play. So he's been quietly, it's not huge numbers. 10 catches over the 4 games is obviously not a huge number. Is there a way to get Gallagher more involved in the offense, right? Again, if you could run it, that would help because then it loosens it up, and then we know Rich can get into the offensive play calling a little bit more and be a little bit more creative than you're able to when you're just not moving it. But Gallagher here might be a guy that you look for and say, all right, is he ready to go? Because those underlying numbers are starting to look good. Can he break that out and put some volume behind it?
Right.
He's also second on the team in EPA per rush. Now, he only has a couple carries, but on that jet sweep, that's been working.
So you're saying pump it to 24.
Well, I mean, you can't just pump it to anybody, but that's a guy. If you're looking for people to make plays that can run it or that can catch it and can be in different spots, maybe Gallagher's a guy that starts to step forward even more than he already has. How about Jeff Weimer? Is Weimer a guy that's ready to make some plays at receiver? Someone's got to compliment Cam Vaughn and loosen up that coverage on him. Weimer's moved into number 3 in terms of snaps played now among wide receivers. Now, he has just 6 targets and 2 catches, but this is a guy that had 75 catches and was a 1,000-yard receiver last year, albeit at a different level, Hop. I understand that. But is Weimer a guy, fairly big target? Is he a guy that can make some catches? He has been an effective blocker for this team. So he plays 50% of the snaps when West Virginia's in a 1-receiver set, and he's got the second-best run-blocking grade on this team overall, including everybody.
Wow.
Second-best run-blocking grade only behind tight end Jacob Barrett.
Can he play guard or tackle?
Probably not big enough.
Yeah.
But is Weimer a guy? Because, again, you're going to have to throw it some. You've got to find a way to loosen this defense up. Utah, I would assume, does the same thing Kansas does, where it just pushes guys in, locks up on your receivers, and says, go ahead, can you beat me deep? And can you get the protection long enough to throw it deep? So run it, try and loosen that up. Back to third down from a West Virginia offensive side of things. Part of why, Hoppy, third down has been such a struggle, you're 88th in the country in average third down distance at 7.2 yards per third down.
Ouch.
So what did we just say? For a team that has really struggled to throw the football, you do not want to be third and long, and that's what you've been doing on average, hence the struggles offensively. But Utah's defense, just 1/16th nationally in opponent third down distance, 6.4 yards. So only less than a yard, but that makes a little bit of a difference. Can you be in third and medium where you have more of the playbook open?
Yeah.
What else? Questions?
No, it's all good stuff.
Yeah, that's
Hold on, I'm not done. Let me give you 2 more things.
Just one other note. I mean, besides Kyle Whittingham being a really, really good offensive line guy, and this is their, to his account, their best offensive line they've ever had. Morgan Scalley is their defensive coordinator, former player there, grew up less than 5 miles from their stadium, just Utah lifer. He's the coach in waiting, and he's their defensive coordinator, and they are oftentimes considered to be one of the best defenses in the country. So this is going to be a really interesting. Now, Rich has gone against him on multiple occasions. Rich beat the Utes 4 straight years when he was at Arizona. So there is familiarity as far as scheme and things like that go.
That loss to Texas Tech, the final score is a little bit deceiving. I mean, Texas Tech got points late in that game.
Correct,
the Utah
correct.
defense and that backup quarterback came in and was very effective. They didn't lose a lot when the starter went out.
They got better. They didn't lose a lot. They got better with him.
So that final score a bit deceptive. So that tells that Utah defense is pretty good.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
So I just mentioned early down success. You've got to have success on first and down to even give yourself a shot on third down.
Right.
Utah's defense number 8 nationally in early down opponent success rate. So they've been very good. That's been one of the keys, or maybe the biggest key to their success. Here's why I keep pointing to you have got to find a way to throw it. And I know it's all interrelated. Run it better, then you have a chance to throw it. But Hop, West Virginia now 132nd nationally in EPA per pass. So 136 teams. So you're literally near the bottom in expected points added per pass. You get a Utah defense that's 19th in the country in EPA per pass. So yes, you're getting a very, very good Utah defense.
So the Utah defense comes in and just says, we don't think you can pass it. If you might complete a couple passes, we don't think you can pass it. We will line up, try to run it, and see what happens.
Yeah, and so again, I'm not breaking new ground here, but can you run it with any kind of success, which you want to do anyway, which then forces them to have to change that up, right? Then they've got to devote more resources to stopping your run. Can Jalen Henderson, Khalil Wilkins, et cetera, come in and spark something with the running game so that they have to come off that and force them to stop the run? And then when you have to throw it, can you do it enough to make some plays? That's been a struggle all season.
And you know that Tony, as we saw last week, when the offense can't do anything, that field position in the first half, you just felt like you were in mud, right? You're
Correct.
Starting deep in your own territory. You punt, they get a return. They're starting at midfield. I mean, it's like you're behind. Even if you're not behind score-wise that much, you're just behind.
Well, Brett's got that stat that it's money.
Yeah, you were minus 14 yards last week in field position. You lose 90 or you win 90% of the time if you're plus 10. Yeah. So that's what you're looking for. Watch that throughout the game. If that's something, if you're watching that and it's not, the gap's not closing or it's staying at that, but one team's close that has the advantage, generally they find a way to pull it out. The aberration, though, was West Virginia against Pitt.
Yes,
you were minus 12 or minus 13 yards and found a way to win that game. That just doesn't happen very often. All right, last set of numbers for you. Let's talk about what this line has done. Opened at 12.5 on DraftKings, dropped to West Virginia 10. Again, that's a big home dog, 12.5. Jumped back up to 13.5 after all that injury news, after Rich's press conference. Settled back in at 12.5 as we record here on Thursday. Total is ticked down a hair down to that 47.5 we referenced earlier. That's the lowest total we've seen on a West Virginia game this year. Again, makes sense. Two good defenses. West Virginia struggles offensively, tied in with injuries. But here's what jumped out to me, guys. This is the largest home dog roll for West Virginia since September 28th, 2013.
Say that again?
Largest home dog roll since 2013 against Oklahoma State when you were a 19.5-point dog. Guess what you did in that game? We referenced it earlier.
What?
Won the game. Mike Gundy was all flipped out about coming here for the first time.
Yeah, they might have come a week early, too.
I think they took a Lou Wendell pontoon in.
Might have.
Yeah. Well,
good numbers.
Yeah, it's all good stuff. We'll see how it plays out.
Guys. Can defense win it for you? And the offense does enough to get you some points.
Special teams has to play just a superb game.
Better. They got to be.
Your defense. So you come into this, Hop. You come into this at least with defense against offense from just a pure statistical standpoint that you say, okay, it wouldn't be totally inconceivable that you hold them in check, get a couple turnovers, and your defense does its part. To me, the giant question, and I'm not plowing new ground, can the offense do anything? Can the offense keep you in this game and get you some points to keep it close?
And as the build of this program continues, like in years to come, the answer is going to be, yeah. Like, go ahead 2-3 years and go, how's Rich's offense going to be? It's going to be like, let's go.
Yeah.
Bring it on. Let's go. Let's play.
That's where if you're trying to build some optimism for the future, you figure that's going to come along. It's come along everywhere, right? The first year looks choppy almost every time. And then it comes. And almost every place he's been, the offense comes along and looks really good. If you can keep that defense playing at a level like this, Zach Alley sticks around and this defense plays like that, and that offense comes, now you're lining up on these shit going, okay, come on, what do you got?
Yeah.
Who wants in?
Yeah. Got a message earlier this morning from a Three Guys listener. Said that he stopped at Tudor's and ordered the Mountaineer. Mm-hmm. First time that he had gotten it there. Said it blew him away. Then he said he was later that day going down into a coal mine. It was WVU president Michael Benson.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Texted me, said, all right, I hear you guys talking about it. I went in, got me a Mountaineer. And
he said he did not eat two, though.
He said he did not eat two.
I said, did you eat two? He said, what are you, crazy?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Well, he works out.
Oh my
gosh. He's into that rower and he does all that stuff. So he wasn't going to take down two, but you can have one or others. Tudor's Biscuits, over 70 locations. If you're coming in for the game, do it the Tudor's way. Start your day the homemade way with a Tudor's Biscuit and those 3 new sauces that they have. Just tremendous. The honey sriracha, Carolina Gold, and the sweet teriyaki to go along with the original, which is the Sweet Baby Ray's. Just terrific. So start your day the way Michael Benson did with a Tudor's Biscuit. 3 Guys also brought to us by Gomart. You know what Saturday means? What? It means it's Saturday, which means you get triple rewards points. Oh, yeah. If you go to a Gomart on Saturday with your app. Triple points means food, fuel, cheaper, snacks. Check it out at Gomart. They're terrific.
Get your Connection 304 on the way up for the game.
A lot of places.
You know what I have? I meant to show you.
What do you got?
I mentioned this on a previous show. That's that, like, I think, is that a keg? Like a keg of water here, Kurtzville?
That's a lot of water.
That's a giant water.
You doing those one a day? You
it's
got
that giant water.
Got that at Gomart?
Yeah, Elkview. The Elkview Gomart.
Did you drive to Elkview to get it?
Yeah. Well, you need a gas.
Well, there's at other places, but Elkview for sure has it because I bought it there multiple times. That's a big water. Look at that, boys.
It's a lot of water.
Is that a liter?
So just grab that.
That's a liter, right?
I don't know. I think so. So grab that, take it to your tailgate with some Connection 304.
How many ounces in that? What's it say? How many ounces?
I can't say. Hold on.
So my question was, remember when I was in elementary school? Perhaps you don't. When I was in elementary, but remember they said that metric system.
1.5 liters.
1.5 liters. Yeah. So how many ounces?
Almost 51.
Oh, that's a good day. They say if you get 64, you're swimming down the right pond right there.
Doesn't it depend on your weight?
Whatever. 3 Guys remind you that the Hall of Fame induction ceremonies for the 2025 class will take place at 12:30 on Saturday at the indoor practice facility. It's free. All you have to do is just walk in there, and it's a whale of a class. Some great names. On the rifle side, Petra Zublazing, unbelievable member of the WVU rifle team. A guy I'm looking forward to seeing. Haven't seen him in a long time. Baseball standout, Darrell Whitmore.
He was good.
Freshman All-American football player, and then went on to play for the Mountaineer baseball team. Eventually made it to Major League Baseball. Front Royal, Virginia native. It'll be wonderful to see Whit. And then Chelsea Carrier-Eads, unbelievable track and field performer, Marion County.
Unbelievable high school career before she even got here.
Just amazing. So Chelsea Carrier-Eads will be in. And then from the football side, we've got a trio. We've got the legendary Pat McAfee being enshrined into the Hall of Fame. Bill Kurlavich, who really is a standout in the sense that, like, might be one of a few, if not the only, just straight assistant coach that didn't play. Like Steve Dunlap went in as player and a coach, but Kurlav did not play here. This is just straight for what he did as a coach.
Played at Glenville?
Played at Salem.
Salem, that's right.
Played at Salem. And but Kurlav is going in. He'll be there. And then the late Bill Stewart will also be enshrined. And I know that Blaine, who's with the Tampa Bay Bucks now, will be sending a message. And I saw Karen Stewart. She'll also speak.
Awesome.
That's great.
You know, the Kurlav's also interesting from this standpoint. So that's the third Coach Nealon assistant to go in.
So you have Steve.
Donnie
Young.
Yeah. And then Kurlav.
Yeah.
No other assistant coaches in the Hall of Fame.
Don't hold me to it. There might be.
Greg thought no on Sportsline last night. He's
Greg
on the committee with you, right? So no other assistants. Will you ever have another assistant go in, given look what it took for Donnie, Steve, and Kurlav and the length of time they were here to get in.
A lifetime of work.
Now, you don't stay that long.
No.
Might be historic. Might not have many, if any, assistants going after this.
That was one of the strengths of the Nealon staff, was the skill and the longevity of those assistants.
Yeah, there's great similarity between what West Virginia's staff and the composition of it under Coach Nealon was able to do. You did have a foundation of coaches that were here. Same thing at Virginia Tech, right?
Yeah.
Frank Beamer had a long list of guys. You know, Bud Foster is the first that comes to mind, but many others that stayed with him through the duration, and that consistency was able to really author those programs.
And some of those guys, I don't know what they're like, Dunlap and Kurlavich. I don't know if they were that motivated to be a head coach.
Never heard it mentioned.
I mean,
I never heard like, hey, Steve wants to be a head coach. Never heard Kurlav wants to be. I think those guys were like, they were comfortable in their skin. Like, this is what I want to do. And for some, that's great, right? This is what I want. I want to be really, really good at what I do.
And they were.
Yeah. Because that opens up a whole nother conversation that I was just talking with someone on the sideline there the other day at practice, going like, why do people think a coordinator is necessarily going to be a good head coach? It's got nothing to do with it. It's got nothing to do with it. Like if you're superb at dialing up plays, does not mean you could be a CEO manager of hundreds. It doesn't necessarily it does not make you a great head coach. Now you could be, but it doesn't necessarily he's a hot coordinator. Okay, fine. That doesn't make him. I'm not always going to go with a guy. I'm going to go with the Ren Baker approach. Show me a head coach that has won at hard places. That's what I want to see. Guy wins at hard places. Girl wins at hard places. I want to see that. That will normally give you a better chance to have success.
Yeah, it's not every school that can go hire that, though. So that's why you have to start to look somewhere else. And so at least from a coordinator perspective, you, in essence, have been the, quote, head coach of a part of that. You're not going to jump down to a position coach. So there's your opposite argument of why.
No, I get it. I understand. But I do like those stories. I mean, John Beeline was a classic story, right? My man started at Newfane High School. Now, I'm going to put Newfane High School into context for you. Newfane High – no, I can't now because if I say a school in West Virginia, like people – well, let me just say this. Like size-wise, Newfane High School, just size-wise, you're talking – oh, goodness. You're talking about like maybe a Midland Trail size school. That's where he started coaching. Then Erie County Community College, which is just a small college in Buffalo. Nazareth, small college in Rochester. Then Lemoyne, small college. Like, he did it like super hard. Those guys, man, when they go through that hard stuff.
Well, that's rich.
That's rich.
Yes, it is.
Salem, Glenville, right? Tulane, Clemson as coordinator roles.
But those first two jobs, being a head coach when you're young at really hard places, that does. And that's starting to happen in basketball. We've talked about that, guys. You're starting to see coaches that didn't necessarily go on to be Power 4 assistants get head coaching jobs at other places. You're starting to find out there's good coaches all over, and there's something to be said for running your program and being a head coach at some point, regardless of level.
Makes you more resourceful. Mark Kellogg. I mean, look at Mark's background. Ross Hodge. I mean, that was hard. That's hard stuff.
Head coach at JUCO is a hard gig.
100%. You guys ready to heal?
Sure.
Lift your hands together. Lift your hands together, and if you feel compelled, please walk forward. It's time for Textual Healing. Textual Healing is brought to us by episode800.com, and our crack staff at episode800.com is getting ready to host you again this weekend at the Three Guys Before the Game Food Court presented by Clear Mountain Bank. We're going Friday afternoon to Friday night. We're going Saturday morning up until 2-ish on Saturday.
Ish.
The Big Stupid Lemon is going to be there again, serving lemonade.
Thing's awesome.
Rev Kev's Barbecue. Everyone's going to be there, right? The whole stand. Duke is going to be in there.
Duke is there from the wine bar. He's
Swill
got some
Dog
stuff.
going to be there.
Oh, I don't know. Are they?
Grateful Bread going to be there. I mean, you have to come
by and see.
We got live music.
It's always a revolving circus.
It is, and we'd love to have you there. Stop by to the Three Guys Food Court. And then a reminder, October 7th, we, the three of us, are going to be inside of Touchdown Terrace. It's a United Way fundraiser for the United Way of Monongalia and Preston counties, and we are going to be adorned by a bevy of WVU coaches and student athletes, and we're just going to have a big time. We're going to have conversation with the student athletes and the coaches. The three of us will be involved with that. And then we'll have silent auction items. We'll have live auction items. And we're just going to have a fun night. It goes from 6 until 8 on October the 7th. Go to the United Way of Monongalia and Preston County's website to buy tickets. And
Got to hurry, though.
Yeah, the limited number.
Last time I checked, there was 31 left. That was a day or two ago.
I think it might be less than that now. But
I'll check.
Yeah, we'd love it. 6 until 8. Mark Kellogg, Ross Hodge, Steve Sabins, Jen Greeny, great food, heavy hors d'oeuvres. Like, bring up another person with you to pick up the hors d'oeuvres. They're that heavy. You need 2 people to bring them back to your table.
That's not what that means.
And less than 35 tickets, when this was printed out, were $75 each. You make a donation to United Way, Mon, and Preston County. And Clear Mountain Bank is involved in that. And for the United Way, I would love to have you there.
It'd be a fun night.
Yeah.
So head over to the United Way. Is that where you get the tickets? United Way, Mon, Preston County.
You can go to that website,
that out, yeah.
or you can go over, knock on their door, and say, "Hey, I need me one of them tickets."
You'll probably email episode800.com, too. There's an email on there. If you email there, we'll point you in the right direction.
Okay.
Fun night.
That's coming up quick. October 7th will be here. This is the last Saturday of September, Hoppy, in case you're scoring at home.
Yes, I know.
So it's not this coming Tuesday. It's the following Tuesday?
Yep.
Is that right?
Yep. 3 Guys also brought to us by Lou Wendell Marine Sales. I told you, first time Oklahoma State came here 14 years ago, they boated in from Stillwater. Cost them the game because it took them so long to get here. Should have flown. Lou Wendell Marine Sales, the premier pontoon boat dealer in our state of West Virginia. They sell Avalon pontoons. They got pontoons, tritoons, quadtoons, quintoons, sextoons, septoons, octoons, non-toons, and decktoons. Got a lot of tunes on their pontoons, and they've been doing it for 40 years. If you're in need of boating supplies, boats, LouWendellMarineSales.com. Time for healing. John from Oklahoma City. Virginia Tech has committed a substantial increase in athletic department spending. If you believe Google, they already have more money than ours. Does West Virginia have similar ability to do that, and is it necessary? The commitment that West Virginia has received from its administration and its Board of Governors will put West Virginia in the top 5 in the Big 12 Conference.
That's where you need to be in the top tier.
Correct. So you're in the top 5. Ren Baker has often said, don't need to have the most, but you want to have enough to be competitive. So the answer, John, would be West Virginia is positioned, and they'll be just fine.
I checked here, and again, this is not a live broadcast. There are 22 tickets remaining.
You have a site you can go to for that, huh?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
United Way, Moving Mountains with the Mountaineers event. A touchdown.
That's what it's
terrace.
called, Moving Mountains, Brad, with the Mountaineers.
Heavy appetizers.
Heavy. Bring 2 people. Hey, 3 guys, I took the Mountaineer Spirit to Alaska. By the way, West Virginia mountains are prettier. Greg and Patty of Oak Hill, West Virginia. Look, Hoppy, they're at the Arctic Circle.
Wow.
Great to see those folks.
Well done.
I know those people. I've seen those people before. Not there in Alaska, but I've seen them at Mountaineer games.
You
didn't
see them at the Arctic Circle
Did not see them in the Arctic Circle. Hey, 3 guys, Mountaineer Nation needs some joy to serve as balm on the Kansas wound, so here it goes. Welcome Gansey Grant Shaffron, the firstborn of WVU alums Wesley and Haley Shaffron of Charleston, to the Mountaineer family. Wes and Haley admired and loved to watch all the Mountaineer greats, basketball's Mike Gansey and football's Grant Wiley.
There you go.
So,
Wow.
that name served as inspiration to name the baby Gansey Grant Shaffron. Look at the baby.
How about that?
How doggone cute is that little baby?
That's great.
Proud aunt, WVU alum, and 3 Guys fan, Janet Shaffron in Annapolis, Maryland. Look at that baby picture there.
With the ball.
With the ball.
Gansey Shaffron. That's a good name.
That is.
That's a good name.
We got to tell Gansey
Yeah.
and Grant that they have a baby named after them. That's
great.
Awesome. Next one's a bit troubling. Next text. This letter is served upon due to your podcast potential copyright infringement of the television show Frasier. The 3 Guys, this is nothing to laugh about. The 3 Guys podcast is basically a replication of Frasier's plotting characters. Like Frasier, you take calls and texts from call-in patients and provide psychological advice for how to mentally process the ups and downs of the tumultuous life of a Mountaineer fan. With that said, the infringement really occurs with the replication of characters. 2 of your show's characters are highly similar to Frasier and Niles in that they are socialites, food connoisseurs, and snobs, drink only the finest bougie coffee at a fine local coffee shop, Mountaineer Roasting, are fashionistas that spend a good amount of time at their local tailor, Daniels of Morgantown, and love to throw parties, 3 Guys Food Court. Your show also has a character similar to Frasier and Niles' dad, Marty Crane, This character displays opposite characteristics of being antisocial, highly likely to not even pay for a coffee, okay to poorly dress, but also providing quality insight from his down-to-earth background. I'll let you guys decide who is who. But based upon the evidence provided, you may need to get Jan Dills to brush up on copyright law. Sincerely, the Greenbrier Ghost.
That's a heck of a text there.
That was well done.
It was.
That didn't come from AI. That was from the heart. Joe the Pilot, Uniontown, Ohio, via Mineral Wells. Regarding the rash of injuries, is the timing on this significant potential medical shirt to preserve eligibility? Or is it coaches providing cover for getting benched? Or do we just have really bad luck? P.S. Looking forward to the brisket on a biscuit Saturday. Try one with egg and some horseradish sauce. It's amazing.
Tony,
Wow.
question. So the news that broke this week about Nico going to Colorado and getting his foot examined, and he's listed as 50-50 on the injury report for this week. So give me the rule or rules about where things stand with him in terms of a medical red shirt.
If the specialists were to deem him unable to play for the rest of the season, he has played in 4 games, he could apply for a medical red shirt. He's already had a traditional red shirt. He could apply for a medical red shirt. If that were to be granted, then he would have his junior year of eligibility restored, and he would have another year after that. So if he stops playing right now, he would have 2 years to play.
Okay. And there would be is there a timeline on the decision?
That comes after the season, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. But if you don't see him the rest of the year, then
if he plays at West Virginia again, then there's no shot for a medical red shirt.
Okay.
If he plays again this season. 3 guys, longtime listener, love the show. No matter the season, win or lose, you guys get me through the week and ready for the next game. Growing up in West Virginia, now living here in Morgantown, I've attended more Mountaineer sporting events than I can count. Football, baseball, basketball, men and women's soccer, volleyball, you name it, I've been there. And as part of all those games, I've watched many pregame, in-game, halftime performances from the band, cheer, dance teams. Well, now I have the proud privilege to watch my daughter, Abby, wear the old gold and blue and be part of some of those performances. She's going to be there tonight, this is Thursday night, performing at B-Dubs as part of the WVU hip-hop dance team.
Oh.
They're going to perform, Hoppy.
Oh, excellent.
Brad may even recognize her. Can you please give a shout-out for me and you guys to my daughter, Abby Hess? Abby, you make this old grad proud. Unfortunately, I can't make it tonight. I'll be taking one of my other daughters to basketball or dance. You make my night and hers if you'll give her a shout. Thanks, 3 guys. Keep up the good. Clay in Morgantown.
Awesome.
This will be a first ever for 3 guys to have a hip-hop dance team perform.
That's new. I did not know that. Wasn't aware of that.
Oh, yeah.
Will they be the official 3 guys dance team then? We have a band. We have a house band.
The 2 sides is our house band. And, yeah, that we'll probably have a ceremony. Probably raise their hands and make them the official hip-hop team.
Awesome.
By the way, speaking of
a
music.
hip-hop team and live music?
Mm-hmm. Speaking of hip-hop and music, Hoppy, this would probably be a good opportunity. You were where what happened to you?
I'll make this story short because it's really kind of a long story.
Stunner.
But the wife and I and my wife's first cousin were at 123 Pleasant Street last night, which is a club in Morgantown on Pleasant Street. And they had 2 bands there. They had the band Red Cross, REDDKROSS, and the Melvins. And I have an interest through my wife and my wife's cousin in Red Cross. They're a punk-ish band.
Excuse me?
They're a punk rock band from Southern California that's been around for 40-plus years. 2 brothers, Stephen and Jeff McDonald. And they are one of the most influential bands in rock that you've never heard of.
Okay.
They've influenced Nirvana. They've influenced like Axl Rose, Sonic Youth, all kinds. And they were, and I interviewed them for our State of Minds series. So they were in studio yesterday, and I spent a half hour with them on State of Minds.
Wow.
And then we went to the show last night, and it was a fantastic show, just a wonderful show. And I'm standing there. We were right up front, and somebody goes, 3 guys. And I don't know anybody, right, because everybody's younger than I am. I don't know anybody. And they said, hey, 3 guys, Hoppy. So I already had my earplugs in, but I went over and was talking to him. And it was, can you show the picture? It was Brad and Derek Felix.
Oh, the Felixes.
Yeah, so that's Brad on my right and his son Derek on the left. Big three guys, listeners. And Brad, I had my arm around him, his shoulders. He was on the swim team here.
Really?
Yeah, he still seems like he's on the swim team. They now are in Winchester, or at least Brad is, and had a nice visit with him last night at the club.
So he swam for Coach Gilson.
I believe so.
Oh, yeah, absolutely would have, yeah.
So I was at the club last night.
Well, that's a big time for you.
So you were the oldest person watching a punk group perform.
There's no doubt about that.
It's awesome. I love you, dude.
doubt
So that's why you're surly this morning?
What's that? What's
That's
that?
why you're a little tight this morning?
No, I am in a great mood. I had a wonderful time. I had like a great time. And that's one of the things about being semi-retired. I got up at 8 o'clock this morning. But even though, here's the thing about, they suited me because the show started at 8. At 8.
Oh, good. That was good. So you didn't have to wait till like 10 or 11 before it started.
It started at 8, and Red Cross is the band I wanted to see. Played for an hour. Then there was a break. And then the Melvins came on, and didn't stay for the whole Melvin show. Had to leave a little early. So
sure.
I was home by like 10 o'clock, 10:30.
Well, perfect.
So it was, but we had a great time.
Perfect.
Yeah.
But anyway, ran into Brad and Derek Felix.
Well, that's awesome, man. Good deal.
Yeah.
Wait, you
Pretty
said
nice in there in 1, 2, 3 now?
It's a cool place.
Yeah.
It's a cool place. And there's a story there, Tony. I mean, they get bands. And again, getting Red Cross, it doesn't mean anything to you guys. I understand that. But getting
Red Cross would help me in case there was a disaster.
Not that Red Cross.
I mean, I would like that.
It's a different
blood
Red Cross.
transfusion or something like that if I needed them for that.
Not that.
Getting Red Cross, Google Red Cross, Google the Melvins, very influential rock punk bands. And to get them in Morgantown, it's a pretty big deal.
To your point, if the walls could talk inside of 1, 2, 3 Pleasant, it would be an unbelievable documentary, wouldn't it?
Because it's been 1, 2, 3 Pleasant. They've done a great job with that. Before that, it was Nyabingi.
Yeah, Nyabingi
And
Dance
before
Hall.
that,
yeah.
it was the Underground Railroad.
Nyabingi.
I gave you Nyabingi.
Nyabingi is a
Didn't
good
see
one.
that.
That's like Old Orchard Bypass.
Yeah.
Nyabingi.
I haven't heard that.
We should.
That was a good one.
Well,
We should do a show at 1, 2, 3. Do you think they'd let us in there and do a live show?
I tell you what.
Maybe on an off night?
I tell you, it was loud. It was pretty loud in there.
Yeah.
Speaking of live shows, go back to this hip hop team thing. So they're dancing at the Buffalo Wild Wings?
Correct.
They're performing?
Do we have a room?
Well, since it's a hip hop team, they'll probably refer to it as B-dubs instead of the Buffalo Wild Wings.
Probably true.
Yeah. Yeah. They're going to have to move some tables.
How many are there? Do you know?
I don't. But I do know we've got 5 people. We have 5 people registered for the wing contest.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Hey, I sent you the
How many?
trivia
We have
questions.
5? Any of the dance team members doing that? Probably not.
I hope not.
Somebody.
Was someone doing that?
There's somebody that you didn't think would be in there is going to
Well,
be
you
in
can't do that then dance.
They'll probably do it before. After.
Abby's a heck of a dancer, by the way.
Don't
Clay's
know
daughter.
her.
Yeah.
Don't know her.
Well, you know, I
Clay's
see
daughter.
a lot of dance recitals.
I know you do.
Around a lot of dance practice. I know Abby. She's a very good dancer.
Did you get my trivia questions?
Yeah, I thought they were good.
Oh, thank you.
Pretty easy, but good. But this is fine.
Good.
I want
They need to
people.
be
I
easy.
want
That's
people
okay.
to win.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. They're not all football specific, but I thought they were.
No, they were good.
I thought they were. Okay.
It's very good.
All right.
I look forward to using those.
All right.
Texter, I was able to make it to the Pitt game, my first since 2011. Wow, that's a long time. I want to thank Brad for the shout-out a couple weeks ago. It was emotional because it was the first game without my dad, but it was also my buddy Chad's first time at a West Virginia game, and he had an absolute blast. He's an East Carolina grad, but he was a Mountaineer that day. Recently, I was watching some home videos from the late 1980s, early 90s, and saw one that said Christmas Day 1987. I was a toddler watching my sister play Hungry, Hungry Hippos.
Great game.
The camera then turned to my dad and uncles, and they were watching a football game. Everyone was calm except for my Uncle Will. He was screaming at the TV, wishing that someone from West Virginia would just tackle Thurman Thomas. I don't remember that game, so I looked it up, and I saw that Oklahoma State beat West Virginia 35-33. What are your memories from that game? Was Tony or Hoppy part of the coverage for MSN that day? Jeff, Goldsboro, North Carolina. I got unbelievable memories from that week. Don Nealon was on his way to Ohio State that week. And as the game was continuing, preparation was continuing, I'll never forget this. Brent Musburger did the game on CBS that Christmas day. And he came to interview Don like a day or two before the game, probably the day before the game, and gained tremendous respect for Musburger at that moment, Hoppy, and you'll get this. Because when he went to talk with Don, he brought with him, carried it with him, the old Marantz that took like 77 batteries.
Yeah, D batteries.
And weighed like 92 pounds. So he gets in there, and he sits down with Don. I was sitting in the room, and he goes, all right, we're ready to go. He goes, first off, Don, got to ask you, the Ohio State story, what's going on there? Because, like, it was a done deal. It was a done deal. Don was going to go to Ohio State. He was going to be the head coach. He'd already told his assistants on his staff, we're gone. And then the offer never came from Ohio State. He was told by Ohio State, you're the guy. And then
really? Is that when they hired Bruce Pearl?
No. We're talking football. They hired
no, not Bruce Pearl.
John Cooper.
Who was the guy I'm thinking of with
Earl Bruce, whose brother, by the way, lives in Greenbrier County.
What now?
Earl Bruce's brother lives in Greenbrier County. Attorney. Anyway, so yeah. I know that. And the week's weather was gorgeous.
Until the game.
Until the day of the game, and a storm came through El Paso, and the field was literally invisible. You couldn't see a yard marker. You couldn't see anything. It was complete snow covered. It was colder than hell. And I was doing color on the Mountaineer Sports Network that day. Woody O'Hara was doing play-by-play because Jack Fleming had a Steelers game.
Wow.
And poor Woody, right? You can't see the yard markers. I mean, you talk about flying blind. And so that wasn't good. It was an amazing game. Came down to a 2-point conversion. Left side, Major, ran out, couldn't get the ball to Keith Wynn, and dropped the pass, whatever, and we lost that game. Next year, West Virginia goes undefeated. And Mike Gundy was the quarterback, and Mike Gundy told me a couple of years ago that it was so horrifically cold and bad that day weather-wise that at halftime, everyone in that stadium tried to get into the bathroom just to hold off and get a little warmth before the second half started. And Mike Gundy said that there were a lot of people in there smoking pot. And Gundy's dad walked out of there, and he said, like, there was some marijuana all there. It wasn't me. It smelled like it.
Had got a contact.
He told me that.
You know, Gundy's become a story on this podcast today, right? It was a big story this week, getting fired at Oklahoma State. Speaking of Major and Gundy, though, Joe Bricado put out a video this week. Did you see this?
When he came over.
Of the Major ceremony, retiring his jersey, and Gundy, we were playing Oklahoma State, and Gundy came over to Major during the ceremony and said something there.
Yeah.
I'll give you a story. It's not mine. It's from Steve Dunlap about that game. Because in preparation for it, Steve Dunlap, then defensive coach for Don Nehlen, he goes into Nehlen and says, I know you guys are worried about Thurman Thomas. They got another guy. And Nehlen says to Dunlap, you guys always, you come in here and you
poor mouth and you're crying all the time.
Mouth and you say they got these guys. Then get out of here. Dunlap, I'm telling you, this guy's. Yeah. Of course, that other guy was Barry Sanders.
Dwight Wallace tells the same story because Dwight was in the box offensively with Mike Jacobs during that time. And they got excited when they saw Thurman Thomas go down with an injury. And Kurlav, wait till you see the next guy. he's better. And they go, get out of here. Yeah. I'm telling you, he's better. There goes Barry Sanders, freshman. Last one. Gail in Martinsburg writes in, hello, all capital letters. So apparently she wants a hello. So now Brad has a food management issue and problems with fuel management too. We may have to call one of the Three Guys listeners to step up and develop an app to help him overcome this dilemma. Where there's a will, there's a Three Guys way. By the way, is it true you're efforting baby rattles and spare tire covers for episode 800's website? Yes. We will have by Christmas, we'll have a full baby rattle section and tires.
We need a infant section because so many. I'm like Tony here because so many people send us pictures of the newborns. Right.
We should probably just have some stuff that we could give away.
Brad's not getting involved in it.
Oh, no, because, him, Mr. Tight Butt over there, he gets all nervous.
Let Homeless know.
Bring stuff. Yeah, tell Dave. Tell Homeless. All right. So if you're coming to the game this weekend, Friday afternoon, the food court opens, presented by Clear Mountain Bank. And reminder, United Way. What was that? Moving Mountain Miracles? What are we doing?
Moving Mountains.
Moving Mountains with the
October 7th.
Mountaineers.
October 7.
October 7th fundraiser for United Way, Mon and Preston counties. And you can get those tickets on their website. Love to have you there. It's going to be a fun night. By the way, going to auction off a Three Guys live studio audience watch for someone that night. We're going to do a live auction at the event for someone to come in here and sit in here and hang out with us when we do Three Guys.
Awesome.
Going to do that.
October 7.
Mm-hmm.
Tickets going fast, though. Hurry.
Touchdown Terrace. Be there. All right, so now I have to hit this button, which makes this sound, which means we're done.
That was not a very smooth transition by you.
Hoppy.
Yeah.
It's not live radio.
Oh, that's right.
We'll not go back and fix it. Three Guys brought to us by Gomart. Get a Gomart rewards card. Immediately save on food and fuel. Stop there on your way in this weekend, wherever you may be, whether it's a high school ball game or a Mountaineer game or whatever it might be. Three Guys brought to us by Lou Wendell Marine Sales in St. Albans. They sell family fun. Visit LouWendellMarineSales.com. By Tudor's Biscuit World. Start your day the homemade way with a Tudor's biscuit. By Comax Business System, keeping West Virginia's businesses' data safe, secure, and efficient. 25 years. By Jan Dill's Attorneys at Law. They won't take no for an answer. And by Conley CPA Group, providing value beyond numbers. All right. So Sunday we'll be back in here to recap the game. Next week will be a little bit different because we leave on Thursday for the BYU game, which is going to be played on a Friday.
Better leave on Wednesday.
But if you do Utah's math, we're going to leave after the game's over on Saturday night just to make sure that we can get all the way there, BYU, all the way up Provo. Got to get up there early. All right, special thanks to our producer, Dr. Jake. We're out. See y'all.